All right, I'll ask the question to you and you tell me what you think.
Yeah.
All right. You and your partner break up.
Yep.
You've been together for, let's say, 2 years.
Yep.
You have a break from, like, you break up, you're split, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
You get back together again after that.
Yeah.
And that when you get back together again, it's now another, let's say it's a year. So it's 3 years, 6 months break, 1 year back on. Do you count that as 3.5 years, or like you only count, from when you started that second relationship?
That actually happened to me, to be fair. So I ended up counting it, I think.
The break?
Yeah, because I think the break was like literally like 5-6 months, I think. I don't know. But we still like just counted it because
okay,
we at least take like half of it off, like be like 12.5 years or something like that.
Okay.
So
I think the difficulty in counting it is, one, you have that break and you may have been up to other activities in that break, which if you split up, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
But if you count that time, then you are also in somewhat of a fashion counting the time that you've been with your partner, but I've also been with other people. And that sounds sticky. Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just sounds sticky to put in like to one box. 12.5 years. 6 months I was sleeping with other people. But 12.5 years. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. It sounds sticky.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So but I've been on that where I've been with a partner and we've split for like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And I may have dated trying to move on. Because in my head, I don't think we're going to go back together again. But then we do. I think for some people, they go, well, the break, what if the break is intended that we are going to get back together again? In my head, I'm like, well, you shouldn't have a break. Because if you are having rough times and you just want to break from a relationship, but you know you're going to get back together again, then you're not really built maybe for the relationship.
No, I think you're right.
It depends on the type of whatever the issue is. I know circumstances of people that are together, but some real major things have happened that require them to maybe get their mental health right. Yeah. Like you've been with your partner a long time, but now your partner becomes the trigger.
Yeah.
So even though you don't necessarily want to, for your own mental health and stability, so you can understand what the trigger is and what's going on, you may have to separate and live separately. Yeah. But I think that intent is not to separate permanently. It's to separate and then figure out what the trigger is, where your mental health is at, get better. And then when you are of a right mind, then go, do we want to continue this or do we leave it at that? Yeah. But when you have a breakup, like, we're not doing this, I'm sorry, we're gone. Yeah. You go. But 6 months later, you come back. I think you don't count it, personally, because your intention was to go. Yeah. And you got up to other activities in between. Yeah. So your attention's gone. You come back, and then people like to go, let me just add it all together. Yeah. I found, when I asked that question on social media, and I could be wrong on this, excuse me, I found that the men said they just count the bit when we're together at the end. Yeah. Like the year. Okay. So 2 years, 6 month break, 1 year. The men were like, just count the year. The women, majority, if not all, not majority, I would say, said, just run it all up. And I think, without trying to speak for women, I can't even really speak for me, because I can't even speak for all men. Yeah. But I think based on the answers they were giving and the reasons why, a lot of them would have just rathered count that, because to them, saying you've been in a relationship for a year doesn't sound as juicy as 3.5 years. Yeah. Doesn't sound as serious. Yeah. 2, for them, based on the image that they may have with other people that may know they were together before, rather than tell them we had a break and then we come back together, they would just rather just group it all up. So when everyone has any questions, to avoid having to get into any details, they just say 3.5 years. Yeah. They don't want to go, well, we broke up and da-da-da-da.
Yeah. I feel that.
But there were some, just a handful, that were like, I would just say the whole thing of, we've been on and off 3.5 years. Yeah. Some people just did that. I think that would have been my answer. On and off 3.5 years. Where we've been on, we had some off times, we weren't together, but the whole total of us knowing each other from a relationship capacity, 3.5 years. Yeah. That's why I would say. Everyone's answer is different. Yeah. And I get it. I'm not going to say there's a right or wrong answer. I just think what I saw was a lot of the men were answering like So yeah, man. And I think because a lot of the men were like, because I got active in them 6 months. I got active in them 6 months. It's a real interesting question.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It came about because I was on stage and I said it. I asked this couple who were sitting there how long they've been together. They said 11 years.
Yeah.
But then she jumped in and I went, wow, that's great. Then she jumped in and went, well, you know, inconsistently.
Yeah.
I was like, what she's saying is, we've been on, we've split, done our thing, come back. And when she told me she was 26, instantly knew the gap where it was inconsistent, university. Yeah. Instantly knew. Because if you're 26, both of them are 26, been with each other from school, they don't really know themselves yet. They broke up at a point, went to figure out who they are and are not, and then come back and boom. That's what I thought it was.
Oh, hey, that's nice. Yeah, nicely said.
Yeah, man. I think that's what it was. You know, the more I move my wrist, the more I feel like I broke it.
Oh no! See, I've psychologically done this.
Now all of a sudden my wrist is going to be at a right angle or something.
Does it burn? That's the real question.
Burn? No, it doesn't burn. But it clicks every time I move it. That's a worry. I'm going to hospital afterwards just to see how it is, so it'll be fine.
It'll be all right.
Yeah, that break thing is a weird question to ask, but it's because everyone can give a different answer and different reasons. There was a girl that I know from around here. She gave an answer which had nothing to do with the price of bread, respectfully. And if she hears this, I don't care, man. It weren't even. I'll message her and say, look, I used your reference. It just didn't make sense. Yeah. Right. She responded, but she didn't respond in the questions bit. She messaged me privately, and her response was, "Oh, I count all of it."
All of it. Okay.
Yeah, I count all of it. Right. And I said, and she goes, if I have a meal, and then during the meal I take a break from eating and have a drink of my water. And then put it back and then go back to eating my meal. I don't just count how long it took for me to eat my meal by that last bit. And I said, that doesn't work. We're not talking about a meal and the water.
Bro, those things go together in my eyes.
They are a meal.
Yeah, yeah.
You're talking about a plate, right? They are a meal. Yeah. And I said two things. I said, one, if you're going to use an analogy of food, it'd like be asking how long did it take for you to eat this plate? But then you ate it for 20 minutes, stopped, went off to go and eat something else on a different plate, stopped, come back to the first plate. Yeah. That's what that would be like. Because if you had a break and you went off elsewhere. Yeah. Then she said, but if I'm having a break with my partner, there is all the intention to go back. Yeah. I wanted to say, if you're having a break with intention to go back, you're a manipulator. Because you're having a break knowing you want to go back. If you have a break because you don't know what you want and you don't know if you want to be with this person, or you know you don't want to be with a person, cool. If you have a break knowing, we're going to have 3 months off, but I'm going to get you back. Bruv, you're out there trying to fling out pum-pum to other people. That's how it sounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I said that, I didn't say that bit to her, but I did say it would also be like having something to eat. If you wanted to measure how long it took you to eat a plate of food, and you started eating it, you took 10 minutes to eat, then stopped for an hour, and then went back to the plate and you finished it off in another 10 minutes, it's not an hour and 20 minutes. It's an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah. Sorry, hour and 20 minutes. It's not an hour and 20 minutes that it took for you to eat that plate. It took 20 minutes, but you stopped. Yeah. So if you want to add out how long your meal actually lasted, it's the 20 minutes that it took for you to eat it. If you do something else for an hour in between, you don't count that hour and say, I was eating my meal. You could have gone toilet, had a shower, whatever, and gone out to the shops, come back. Yeah. You don't add that to mealtime. Yeah. She's like, we just add the whole thing. She just wants her relationship to seem like it's long. You know who you are. Shout out to you. I'm going to say shout out to you, G, but that was a dead answer. Then the response to that, it was so weird. Her response to that straight after was, it's a chicken and an egg kind of conversation. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with origins. The whole chicken and egg discussion is about what comes first. Yeah. What is the origin of? Where did the idea start from? Has nothing to do with a relationship break. But yeah, big up you, G.